Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another DDL live stream. This time we're going to be interviewing Southeastern Division champion Dakota. How you doing today, Dakota?
I'm doing pretty good. It's pretty smoky outside, so I've been trying to stay inside a little bit today. But other than that, just pretty chill.
Right, right. Yeah. Uh, I can relate to that for sure. It was really smoky over Thursday and Wednesday, I think. Those are kind of the days for us, though. And then the rain kind of cleared it out. But yeah, no, that's not why we're here necessarily. We're here to talk about how great of a
Yeah, no,
season's.
we just open it up with talking about the weather.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and like start talking about what we're here for, and that's how great of a season you had. You're a rookie going in here. You were facing down Nimble Nimbus twice this season, and obviously the Kanto Koraidons, which is another veteran player, but he's not nearly at the level as Lily Cove, in terms of what he's done in the league to this point. Uh,
uh, I mean, no, like his record doesn't show it. The Kanto Koraidons don't
right.
show it, but at the same time, it's like he's been playing really well in the play-ins, and my entire division is in the playoffs right now. So
Right,
I
right.
mean,
And
I don't want to
obviously it
necessarily count
wasn't
him
a
out.
free win, but
Yeah.
you matched up pretty nicely into the Kanto Koraidons. It gave you a little bit of a scare in that first matchup in week three, and I
Well,
actually,
honestly, you gave me a scare in the last matchup that we played too. I was down 5-2. I had two Pokemon left, and he had a whole team. Thankfully, Charizard and Milotic cleaned it up for me, but
yeah.
still.
But you championed your division as a rookie. How are you feeling against two of these vet players?
I mean, I feel good. I feel like I've played Nimble a lot this season, and he kind of said it best when you interviewed him at the end of his last match that he won, and he said that it's really hard to be creative, to continue to be creative against someone that you've played so many times and like a team that you've matched up against with so many times. So it's yeah, I mean, game one is going to really set the tone for that whole for I mean honestly game one of any series is going to set the tone for the rest of the series, but game one in our series particularly is going to be really important because whoever wins that match, the next person is going to be trying to counter the next person. And so it's
Right.
just a chess match. And it's like a chess match in like the team building process. And so um I mean I'm both looking forward to the playoffs, but I'm also a little bit stressed out about it. It's just I feel like I kind of overperformed this season, and I feel like I've got a lot of pressure on me at the moment. And
Right. You're one of two rookies that just absolutely blew the league away with like just amazing gameplay throughout. You made a lot of good trades in FA and like just trading in general, I think. Which really furthered your season, especially after losing to like Terruptive Terrakion. You really
yeah,
picked up the steam. But yeah,
yeah,
no.
and both of the teams that give me trouble during the main season are the teams that I'm going to be looking at playing in playoffs potentially. Depending on who wins out of Spanish and Picanor. And it's funny because um, obviously Spanish is the underdog in that match, but with Spanish's mind games, it's possible that he could be the coach to kind of break Picanor and just kind of just with shenanigans get into his head. So there's a possibility that, if I beat Nimble, I could be playing Spanish in the semifinals. So
That would truly be like something to witness too, because like that would be the first time since season two where we saw an entire division go into playoffs almost. And this would be the entire division if Kanto Koraidon goes up to like semifinals or conference finals, and you do beat Lilycove, like you would play both of your division rivals in that case. And that's like super stressful because they have tape on you, like lots of
right,
tape.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, they have experience against me and we've played each other, and yeah, like I said, it's hard to be creative in that many games. And I fully anticipate every single one of my playoff matches, no matter how far I go into playoffs. I fully anticipate every series to go 5 games because, especially with my first game being with Nimble, Lily Cove, they have a team that matches up really well into mine. and I have some, I have some plans, and I have some tricks up my sleeve that will help me compete against his team in a pretty comfortable way. But at the same time, it's like just trying to keep up with the creativity and the the like the prep work of going 5 games against someone is going to be really tough. And like I said, like especially if I do end up playing Nimble and then I play Spanish, like these are teams that I've already played twice so far. So, oh man, it's just yeah, it's a lot, but I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I did, like I said, I feel like I kind of overperformed my first season.
Right. And correct me if I'm wrong, but this is your first best of five series you've done in the DLP, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I was the second coach last season for the main league, for the Twin Leaf Titans. And then when the second coaches league started, I got moved up into the main league. So yeah, this is actually the first league that I've ever played in this server to begin with. I've been here for a while though, but yeah, this is like the first time um, playing in an actual league, and that was part of my learning process too. Is being a first time player in the league, I've never played against some of these guys, and I don't have experience on like how they play. And like you play you start to learn like players, the way that they play, their style and things like that. And it was all fresh for me, so I feel like as the season progressed, I kind of learned what everyone was doing and like what to expect from them and things like that. So
Yeah, and
I feel like just like
especially
as the season goes on, like I kind of get better.
especially like as the draft reset, you joined in at a really nice time because nobody really knew what they wanted to do up to this point. Like they all came in with like brand new drafts, you know? Um,
Right. Yeah. And we started right at the beginning of Champions too. So like
yeah,
it wasn't too clear on what Pokemon were kind of the best. And then with the restrictions that were put on the league with like some of the megas being banned and things like that, like the weather setting megas in particular, it just kind of evened out the playing field of the whole league. I did underestimate how much trick room there was going to be going around a little bit.
yeah. I think that actually caught a lot of us off guard. Like going into the back half of the season, we didn't realize how much Trick
Right.
Room was like
Right,
going to
because
be
at the
played.
beginning of Champions Regulation MA, Trick Room was kind of dead. Like it was there wasn't really like a good Trick Room team going around. So I wasn't paying attention to Trick Room too much. Like I wasn't too worried about it. And then yeah, kind of bit me in the ass a little bit at the end. But like I said, with the items being opened up, with us being allowed to use all of the items, it does kind of patch some of my holes a little bit, and it allows me to do what I want to do in both directions too. Like if I want to play in Trick Room or if I want to play in a Tail Room kind of mode, I can do both with the items that are available to me. So
Right. And I think that's one of those things, like with the DLP specifically, where I was like, I want people to be able to have counterplay to like make up for like shortcomings in their draft. And so I was like, I'm okay with Nat Dex items. Um, but I'm glad to hear it's working out, at least for you.
yeah, if oh man, if I wasn't because there was a point where at the end of free agency where I was considering trading out one of my Pokemon so I could have something slow, but I considered it and I was like, you know what, I'm just fine with like the team that I have because I play Nimble this week, and he relies heavily on Trick Room, and I know that I can play in Trick Room, um, and I can compete in Trick Room. But then if I go on and I mean, Pickinor, the track hands, they're favored to win that matchup. So I anticipate that if I do beat Nimble, that I will play Pickinor, and I'm not too concerned about having a Trick Room mode in that matchup. I think that we'll both be having some tricks to play with each other, and I'm not too worried about if he wants to bring Trick Room or if I want to bring Trick Room. So
Right. And I think there's something to be said for Lily Cove. Like, they do have the better experience in terms of best of fives. But like, do you think that's gonna sway anything at all? Do you think that will help in Lily Cove's favor at all?
I believe so. Yeah, I think that like my lack of experience will be a little bit of an issue with me, but not too much. Like I would say it put me at like a 10% difference, right? Like he has the experience of knowing like it's kind of stressful, honestly. Like it's kind of stressful playing in league, and then like especially when you make it to the playoffs, like where if you like drop a game, it's like really serious, you know. So he has felt the pressure of the playoffs before, and so I think that he'll be able to manage it a little bit better than I will. But at the same time, I'm not too worried about it. Like I know I'm a decent player, and I see Nimble as kind of like my equal in the league. So
And I think I
I'm not.
consider you and Nimble actually like rivals in terms of like how y'all interact in your division, you know? Like y'all are true rivals. There's not like the hatred behind like a good rivalry, but it's a rivalry that is good nonetheless.
Yeah, we're very friendly to each other. I respect him a lot, and I feel the respect that he gives me as well. Like, and I think that we kind of recognize in each other that we're very equal in our matchup, and so yeah, it does definitely push both of us to play slightly better, and so yeah, I'm anticipating a really tough match with Nimble because I think that he's gonna try and bring it, and I know I'm gonna try and bring it, and so there's just yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be fun. It'll be fun. I am, like I said, I am a little bit stressed about it, but at the same time, I'm really looking forward to playing these matches. And to be honest, like the way that I kind of function is like I feel like I perform better under stress. So I'm
For
not
sure.
not I'm not worried about it.
Yeah. I was gonna go ahead and ask you kind of a bit of like a retrospective, like from you on your season and like your favorite moments, if you're fine with sharing.
Oh man, so my favorite match was probably and it's it's mostly just because I got so lucky. Like in reality, because I finished in the regular season 7-2, but in reality there was two matches that were super super close in my opinion. One of them actually being my most recent match against Spanish. I was like I had mentioned before, I was down 5-2. I had two Pokemon left, and I somehow managed to come back and win that match. And so that was pretty memorable because yeah, I don't know if I necessarily got lucky in that match. I think I just kind of played well, and my
Right.
opponent
When I
misplayed a little bit.
when
But
I
the
watched
match
the
that really,
match,
yeah, go ahead.
sorry. I just wanted to say because like I feel like you're selling yourself a little bit short when you say like you got lucky. I think you played really nicely. Like you got his mons down to where they needed to be, right? And then it allowed for your Charizard to kind of clean up when it mattered. And that's kind of my take away from it. Like Span never had control of the game, despite the mon difference. You still like you met your win con, you know?
Right, yeah, and so a similar game was when I played. I believe it was, is it Citadel who has the Mega Skarmory? Um,
Yes, yes, it was
yeah,
Cinedark
yeah.
Night Terrors and their Mega Skarmory of Terror.
I did not anticipate them to bring Trick Room. I fully anticipated them bringing like a Scarf Tyrantrum, and then they brought a Trick Room team, and it completely threw me off guard. I was not prepared for it whatsoever, and I felt like I was so far behind in this match. But I was like, okay, I kind of saw my win con that I saw my line, right? I saw the line of like how I could win. And so I created that line, and at the very end I needed a crit on the Rotom to get the KO on it because it was so bulky and it was resisting the blizzard. And then snow ended, and the next turn it was only the Mega Skarmory left, and I needed a blizzard to land without snow up. And so like
Right.
this was the line. Like it was such a crazy line for me to be able to win the match, but I knew that it was there, and I created that possibility, and I was able to pull it off. I landed the both the crit on the Rotom, and I got the blizzard to land outside of snow, and it cleaned up the match. And yeah, so that was probably like my biggest moment because I was like, wow, I really felt like I should have stole that match. Like there was definitely some RNG in my favor, but at the same time, like I do feel like I created that possibility. So I don't know. It was just probably that was probably my most memorable match.
Right. I think it lives in my memory pretty rent free because I remember watching it live, and that was just such a like roller coaster of emotions because I was kind of pulling for you at the time, and I was like, well, now he's in a really really bad spot. This Rotom's just sitting here, and that Blizzard's not really doing enough. But you ended up pulling it out, and it made for a really good game, you know?
Right. And I think that's kind of been like the testament of like the player that I am is that I just don't give up. You know, like even when the match seems helpless and over, and even my week 1 match against Lily Cove, like I misplayed very poorly in that game at the beginning of the match. And I tried faking out the go lurk twice in that match. But at the end of the game, even though the game was kind of wrapped up for Lily Cove, I still made it very interesting by like making a couple really big reads, like with my trick room and like reversing. I trick roomed while he set tailwind, and like I got the game closer than it should have been, and
Right.
so that's kind of been like the testament of like the player that I am, is just that I don't give up, and like even when you think that the game is over, like I'm gonna punish any misplay that you have, and if you give me any kind of opening to let me back into the game, I'm gonna take that opening, and I'm gonna make it really difficult for you, you know?
Yeah, and I think for me personally, it's really interesting to see like how good you are as a player for like how early, like how you didn't start like the earliest, playing competitive Pokemon. You don't have all those years under your belt either. Um, so it's insane to see how good you're playing. Like you're a freak of nature in my eyes, just because of how good you are at like finding those win cons. You're like hunting them every time.
Yeah, no, like I said, I'm always looking for a line to victory, like I can see, sometimes it'll come down to like some heavy reads and things like that. But like I don't know. If you misplay against me, I'm gonna punish you for it,
Right. Yeah, no. If you're fine, if there's no other game that you really like had immortalized in your soul, can you go ahead and tell me about some Pokemon that you want to shout out personally?
Actually, dude, my biggest contributor to my team this year, and maybe actually, you know what? Guess. I'm gonna let you guess who you think that my favorite contributor to my team has been.
I'm gonna go off on a limb and be like Belly Bolt, probably.
It is actually Billy Bolt, yeah. I haven't lost a single match that Belly Bolt has came to in the regular season. Um, and it's been such a cornerstone to my team, because it's so bulky, and there's not too many ground types going around. So it's like, unless you hit it with a ground type, I mean, it'll even it's just so bulky. Like it can take a beating, and then deliver a discharge right back at you, and then heal back. Like it's just such a nuisance for my opponents to try and get rid of, and it really complements my team really well, because my team is pretty offensively orientated, like with the Charizard and like the Sneasler and things like that, and even the Milotic to a certain degree. Like I want to hit you really hard, but at the same time, it's like, so I kind of force my opponents into making a decision. It's like, do you want to take out the thing that's doing a lot of damage, or do you want to take out the belly bolt that's sitting in the corner hitting you with electro webs every turn, like being annoying,
Right.
so I just, yeah, no, belly bolt has been kind of I didn't bring him at the beginning of my matches. I think I brought him at the first match that I brought him to was
You
against
brought him to,
Happy.
yeah, the Hustlers matchup. I do remember that.
Yeah, and he's just kind of remained on my team since then, because like I said, like there's times where I want to be it really complements my team, because like I said, like there's times where I want to be, really offensive and doing a lot of damage, and then I have this like really annoying Pokemon sitting there next to me being annoying and being hard to kill. And then there's times where I want to stall you out and wait out your turns, and then I have this really nice defensive piece sitting there wasting your turns away as you die to toxic and get hit with another electro web and blizzard and things like that. So
Right.
it is, yeah, it's been my corner piece. The Pokemon that has been really underutilized on my team is Mousehold. I haven't really been able, like, every time I put them in a team builder, I find a Pokemon on my team that can do it do what I'm trying to do a little bit better or in a better way in my matchup. And so I feel like I need to I feel like I need to make Mousehold come out a little bit more. So that's the one Pokemon that I need to bring out into some sets.
Right, and I think it's just one of those things that you figure out as you go on, I was gonna actually ask you, what's the chances that Belly Bolt wins you 3 games against Lavender Town or Lily Cove?
Well, I mean, it's possible. The only issue with it, and which is unfortunate because, like I just mentioned, like Belly Bolt is a cornerstone to my team and like the way that I build my team. Um, the Mega Golurk is a little bit of an issue just because of it being a ground type and being able to hit so hard with the ground types and through protect and things like that, like makes it a little bit difficult. It does underspeed it in Trick Room, so at least I have that. And being a ground type, it resists like parabolic charge, so I can't I can't heal off of it either. So it does, you know, it does give me a little bit of an issue, but at the same time, I think that there's ways that I can use it to my advantage.
Right. Yeah, no.
It's about keeping it alive.
I'm just really excited. I think you got the first round bye, and I was a little surprised because it wasn't looking great for you at the beginning of the season. Like Lily Cove was kind of on lock for a while, but you ended up beating them in that matchup, and then they drop another game to Montenegro, which like gives you a comfortable 2 game lead up against them, you know? Um, is there anything that was like, were you shocked when that happened, or were you like really hyped when that happened?
I
Because
was
I
pretty
know,
hyped about it. Just because there was a chance in the very last week that if I would have lost my match against Spanish against the Kanto Koraidons, and then if Lily Cove would have won his match, then he would have had the same record as me, and I believe that he would have beat me potentially. There was a chance, right? Like depending on
right,
how the matches
right.
went, like we would have been tied. We would have had the same record, and it would have came down to like other factors, and I wasn't comfortable with that.
And
And
it's
so,
mostly because, you didn't like sweep him. You split, so that makes it a really tough
right,
situation. Like going for a division, like you never want to split with your division rivals if possible. But it
right,
happens
yeah,
way more
exactly.
often than not. And
Yeah,
it
there was,
just
I can't remember, it was the Cresselia Hustlers division. They were like all tied at the end of the season.
Yeah, no,
Um,
the Southwestern division was absolutely going off. I think what surprised me the most is Gamer actually came out with the Mesagozer performers in the back half and just performed his butt off, you know? Like it was truly an impressive showing from Gamer.
yeah, he definitely stepped up when it mattered the most. I'm interested to see how their conference plays in their for their playoffs, because if I do make it to the finals, I anticipate that I'm going to be looking at PCR on the other side, but it's possible that someone else could sneak in there. I just I don't know. That conference just seems so decided to me. I mean, obviously PCR has to like win, but like he's just been so dominant this entire season that like it
Right.
it seems like his season to lose, honestly. Like in my opinion, PCR is the player who will probably win the league at the end of the year. Like he's my favorite to win.
Which you actually beat me to the question. I was gonna say who you supporting in that side of the bracket. Obviously you don't got to play them unless you go to finals. But like who's
Right.
the most exciting matchup for you? Like who are you
Well, I
excited
mean,
between like Montenevera, Codebreaker, Alola Mola? Like that's a classic for the DLP. Like we've seen we've seen this matchup so many times at this point where it's like it's interesting because PCR's
I'm not too
this
f-
is because this
I'm
is
not
the
too familiar with the other conference about like who's over there. So I don't know, like I wouldn't be able to answer you like who I would like to match up with the most because I don't really know off the top of my head. But I mean, personally, like PCR has been just my favorite team, my favorite coach to follow this season, and it would be really cool to see him like make it and go all the way with it. If I if
Right.
I'm not if I'm not the one to win it, then I hope that PCR is. And there's a possibility that PCR and I will be playing against each other.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. I know. I guess one thing that I am kind of thankful for is the fact that that Picanor he kind of went undefeated. He did take one loss, but that was not because he didn't lose the match. He just didn't show up to it. And so
Right.
he's kind of got the biggest target on his back going into next season, especially if he does make it to finals and plays PCR and potentially wins. He's gonna have like this giant target on his back, and so it is nice, even though it does kind of suck that I had to share my rookie season with Picanor, and so I probably won't be making a rookie of the year. uh, at least when we go into next season, people will be looking at Picanor and not me when they're counter drafting.
True. Yeah, and I think Picanor is one of those like insane talents that we just had drop into our lap very early on. So people hold him high, like
He's
in high
super good, yeah.
regards, uh, for a good reason. And like it's one of those situations like yeah, no, it kind of does suck to go like have to be sharing your rookie season with this guy because in another season you would probably have won rookie of the year, just based off of your performance.
I mean, I showed up to all my games.
That's a pretty compelling argument.
um, no, I think that he deserves it. He had a really good season. And it kind of sucks because that we're in the same division or conference. Um,
Right, right.
I'm gonna have to play him in the playoffs if I want to be going to the finals. And if I beat him in the semifinals, I'm gonna feel like I already
You got
won
you got
the
like
division.
scammed, yeah.
Yeah, like, if I do end up beating him, I'm gonna feel like I already won, you know, and then I'm gonna be playing another tough matchup against PCR.
Then you got to go play against like arguably the second best in league history. Like we had Pepperell and then we had PCR for the longest time. Like this dude's like undisputed second best in terms of like his performance, and now he has a prep coach to go along with that. Like it's just not a good time to be a team that just started.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, it's like if I don't try now, then what's the point, right? Like
Right. And I
I
mean,
made it to the playoffs. I have my chance. Like I feel comfortable with my teams and in the matchups that I have. Like if not now, then never, right? Like I'm not gonna try it. I'm already gonna be getting a bad draft pick next season, so I might as well try and win this season and make it as worth it as possible.
yeah, and I think there's two coaches that share the same sentiment. And Lily Cove and Montanavera, obviously, they've had their fair share of losses against Peverell.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and that's another thing is that I know that PCR has always kind of been a little bit in the shadow of Preverell, and so with Preverell leaving, this kind of is like PCR's moment to come and win the championship.
yeah, no, and going into the season, we all eyes are on him to like win the league. Like it has not been a no stress season for him. Like we expected him to take that step up and kind of win. Now that Peverell's gone, the guy who stopped him every other time. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. But yeah, no,
Yeah, I didn't get to play PCR this season.
well, maybe you could, or maybe you won't,
Yeah,
you know?
maybe I shouldn't maybe I should be careful on what I ask for. You'll end up putting me in the same division with them next year or something.
Right. No, here's the problem, right? You're playing PCR regardless next season based on how we do our scheduling. So you'll get your chance, to play against the great PCR. But of course, that's for a future you.
Yeah,
Until
future
then,
me has to worry about that.
I'm wish you the best luck going into this playoffs. And yeah, no, congrats on getting first seed. Congrats on winning the Southeastern division in such a vicious like cycle. Like this has just been a tough division all things considered. And Span always shows up for those divisional matchups. So
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, probably the best division in the whole DLP.
yeah, no, I think back in the day, I'm old like that, but the Western Division was always the division to beat for a long time, and the Eastern Division was always the laughing stock. So it's a little bit of change of pace here.
It's good to see. Yeah, it's good to see things get shaken up a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be an absolute gauntlet in the Lappers Conference next season, though. We got Munoz joining, and then whoever wins second coaches league. Um, so yeah, no, that's going to be insanely stacked. But it's not really a you problem, so at least there's that,
Yeah, no,
right?
I'll cross that bridge when I get to it.
I'll but with that, yeah, no, thanks for coming on for an interview. You were probably one of the most anticipated interviews I had, so I appreciate you being able to show up, and thanks for being patient with the setup.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, good Godspeed in the playoffs. It's gonna be a gauntlet for sure, but if anyone can do it, I know it'll be you. So
Yep,
yeah, no.
like I said, I don't give up. I'm resilient.
I'm gonna go ahead and sign off here. I'm Clomps, and this has been head coach of the Lavender Town Lamp Dakota. Um,